So Darren, can you tell me about the host protection program through Airbnb?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. And we answer that multiple times a day here. And the host protection is $1 million of liability coverage for every booking that is placed through Airbnb. So there's some pitfalls here. Number one, if you do not exclusively book through Airbnb, if you've ever received a booking from other platforms, then it doesn't apply because it's only bookings that are provided via Airbnb. The bigger issue is Airbnb is the named insured on the policy. Okay, they're the ones that bought the policy, and all the bookings that happen at their company are technically what's called additional insurance. They've provided this blanket policy for all these transactions. And there's a lot of limitations in coverage. If you actually pull it up online, you're going to see there's an exclusion for assault and battery. There is an exclusion for personal and advertising injury. So a great example would be invasion of privacy. We're actually involved in a messy claim that's involving a neighbor suing for invasion of privacy. They got tired of the fact that the short-term rental house had a lot of traffic and parties and so on, and their neighbor ended up suing them. It's crazy. But things like that would not be covered under the host protection because they're specifically excluded. Assault and battery is a big one because if somebody has a gathering at a vacation rental property and somebody is assaulted at that property, their family can ultimately come back and sue against the owner. We've had to defend against some of these as well. They're rare, but they do happen. And so I always tell people, if your name is not on the insurance policy, you have no policy rights, okay? So let's just say someone was injured at your property and they fell down the stairs and you sent an email to Airbnb and said somebody was injured and I just got sued. You're entirely relying on Airbnb to lawyer up and to defend that because you're required by law to have a response to that summons within a 60 or 30-day period. You have to have an attorney to do that. And most attorneys have a minimum $10,000 retainer. So you're out of pocket 10 grand to hire an attorney to respond to the summons to the plaintiff, or excuse me, the complaint that was filed against you. You're already out 10 grand, and now you're hoping Airbnb is going to reimburse you. You keep emailing them, but if they don't respond, there's nothing you can really do because you're not a named insured. You have no policy rights. So great marketing. I think it was a very smart move on their part to sort of de-escalate this anxiety that surrounds insurance and liability for short-term rentals. But the actual proof that it's a great product, it remains to be seen. I've never seen anything on the internet. I've never seen one positive review. Proper's got 150 positive reviews. Go to our reviews page. 150 people have come out and thanked us. I've never seen one thank you to Airbnb for providing liability coverage. Seems a little odd to me.
Yeah, and oftentimes I hear a lot on the different forums that Airbnb hasn't been there for them. You hear it a lot when it comes to people, giving over the keys to their house and then somebody throws a party there, right? And
Right.
then there just ends up being a lot of, back and forth between Airbnb, and usually if it gets to the press level, there's a chance that they might do something about it. Sometimes hear about that, but I also hear all the time in the forums that they have not stepped up. And then on the other side of that, whenever insurance comes up and having, the right coverage, I hear a lot of people say, well, I just rely on the Airbnb coverage. And that always makes me nervous for the exact reasons that you're talking about. I want to be in control of my own insurance. Hey, if they want to step up too, that's great. But I can't just leave it to just like luck that they're going to actually show up for me. I need to be sure that I am in control of my contract with my insurance provider. So for me, that's just how I operate as a general business. But it always makes me very nervous and concerned when I hear hosts, especially new hosts, thinking that they can rely on Airbnb to be there for them in the event of, something that happens.
Well, it's the not going to happen to me mentality. And insurance in general, even on just standard homeowners insurance for property damage claims from wind, hail, water damage, hurricanes, forest fires, it's like every 9 years. Every 9 years in America, someone's going to call their insurance company to file an insurance claim. That's a long time. I mean, think about it. We have 2 million, $5 million homes burning down in California right now. It actually seems pretty cheap when those people pay $2,500, $5,000 a year for that policy, and they're going to have a $5 million house rebuilt. Well, it worked out pretty good for them. But that's the concept of insurance: is you're transferring your risk as a group of individuals, as thousands of people in this vacation rental industry, over to Lloyd's of London and proper issues those policies out. So you're really not going to hear a ton about it because it doesn't happen all the time. We don't have $1 million lawsuit every day, but we do defend a lot of liability claims. And unfortunately, that's the game we all play. You're in business, and if you want to have rock solid coverage, you have to have insurance with your name on it. Or to your point, really, you can roll the dice. There's nothing wrong with that. The chances are pretty low that it's going to happen statistically, but if it does, man, talk about a game changer, and really putting a hole in your life, if it ever happened without good coverage.
Exactly. You have to think of your bigger family, and protecting all of your assets as well. So it's just something people just don't think about. So